or if you're someone who doesn't have any texture issues, you basically have a baby's butt for a face. Hi everyone, today we are going to do a full wear test and I'll give you a review of CoverGirl's brand new powder. This is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder. This is available in several different shades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this for you, show you how it applies, and we're going to check in throughout the day to see how well it holds up and whether it does what it claims. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and following over on Instagram. Of course, if you missed one of the latest videos, I will link that in the upper right hand corner for you to watch. And actually, I think the video link will be for the lip swatches of the newest L'Oreal lipsticks in their new nude line of lipsticks. I am wearing the shade 173 Impertinent on my lips today. I love this color, and this is a really beautiful formula. There are some criticisms that I have of it, so if you want to know more and see the colors swatch, then make sure you go check that video out. I will make sure to link my nail polish color in the description box, as well as, my sweater, which is from Amazon, which I really like. I'm not a leopard print or any animal print type of person, but I happen to really like this sweater, so I'll go ahead and link that very affordable option for you in the description box. This is available at places like Walmart. I'm sure it's also available at other places that CoverGirl is sold, for example, Target or your local drugstore. Walmart tends to be the most affordable, but I will find online where the cheapest price is for you and make sure to link that for you in the description box. On Walmart right now, this is $12.94. It comes in this translucent shade, but it also comes in about 8 different actual tinted shades too. For that price, you're getting 11 grams of product. That's 0.39 ounces. Pretty straightforward plastic packaging, no mirror inside. Oh, I misspoke. The compartment underneath does have a mirror there and a sponge for you. Now, the name of this caught my eye because it says it instantly blurs and blurs out wrinkles. In addition, it says that there is hyaluronic, it says with hyaluronic. It doesn't say hyaluronic acid, but I'm assuming hyaluronic acid and a vitamin C complex, which are great skincare ingredients. Oh, this is also cruelty-free. But let's take an even closer look at the claims that they make about this powder. CoverGirl says it instantly reduces the look of fine lines and wrinkles. This hydrating face powder goes on creamy and does not cake or flake for a flawless finish. Formulated with hyaluronic acid and vitamin C to refresh the complexion and even out skin tone. Perfect for on-the-go touch-ups. The matte press powder makes pores less visible and floats over fine lines and wrinkles to deliver youthful looking skin. All right, so I'm definitely interested in testing those claims. Most importantly, having a more blurring effect or younger looking skin, evening out the look of pores and wrinkles, having a mattifying effect. And let's take a look at the ingredients. Talc and mica, extremely common, almost universal ingredients in powder products. They are not the devil, as some people want you to think talc and mica are, although there are issues in terms of how mica is sourced and some ethical issues about that. There are many videos on YouTube that I encourage you to check out in terms of the background of how mica is gathered. Beyond that, I don't see anything problematic in this powder. In fact, it has a very small, short, simple ingredients list. The quote-unquote vitamin C is at the very end, as well as the sodium hyaluronate. So there's a relatively tiny amount of those ingredients in the powder. I would not put any sort of stock in thinking that either of those ingredients in this particular product will do any sort of noticeable favors for your skin. All right, let's get to applying this powder and testing it out. Now, in order to test this out and really get you a nice comparison, I'm gonna actually apply this only to one half of the face. And then we can check things like how it may preserve the foundation or change the finish, have oil control, all those kinds of things. If you want to know what foundation I'm wearing, I'm actually doing simultaneously a test of the newest CoverGirl Outlast foundation. I know the color is too light. I'll talk about that in the video, but this is their Extreme Wear 3-in-1 foundation. That video has already been published, so I will go link that for you in the upper hand corner if you want to check out how well this foundation works and whether you should purchase it. So I did purchase 100 translucent, so that doesn't have any color, but obviously if you want a little bit of a tint, you can pick any of the shades that they have in the range. So I'm going to take a big kabuki brush like this. This is what I typically use, or the type of brush I typically use for setting my foundation. I'm gonna do it to the right half. On your screen, it'll be the left side. Ooh, there is immediately a blurring effect here. Please ignore the texture around the nose that I already have dry skin there, so that has nothing to do with this powder or the foundation. Can you see? I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but this side that has the powder on it just on the cheeks versus the side with nothing set on it, there's definitely a smoothing effect that I see immediately. Let's go ahead and do the rest of this half of the face. And I don't feel like it changed the color of the foundation either, so I do think it's translucent. Although the caveat to that, or the thing to note about that, is that this shade is obviously, the foundation underneath is obviously paler than my natural skin. So if I had been wearing a foundation that were a deeper color, is it possible that this translucent shade would look ashy or powdery? It's possible. All right, so mattifying effect, there is a little bit of a mattifying effect. I mean, anytime you put any powder, it's gonna have some sort of mattifying effect, but I really don't think that that's the strongest part of this powder. It's more the blurring and smoothing effect that it has. Even around here where I had a very noticeable dry patch, applying the powder on top of that actually has made that look smoother and less noticeable, and even given a little bit of smoothness around this area where I usually have emphasis of pores here. So you can see a little more shininess on this side, more mattifying effect on this side, and hopefully you can tell a bit of a difference in terms of the smoothness too. So good initial impression so far. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and we'll show you what it looks like at the end, and then we'll go throughout the day. I wonder if I should set this with what I normally use, which is not, it's just a complete setting powder. It's not supposed to do any sort of smoothing or mattifying or anything, but I feel like I should just leave it bare, just so you can really see how much oil control it gives, etc. All right, so I know I said I wouldn't check until a few hours later, but I feel like when I looked in natural daylight after I finished my makeup, I could so visibly see a difference between the side where there was powder and the side where there was not. So I wanted to let you take a look and see if you can also tell a difference. So this is the side that has the powder on it, and this is the side that doesn't. I hope it comes through, but this side is definitely smoother, more blurred. You can tell, especially in this area around the cheek here, just kind of at the center of the face, how much smoother it is on this side here. And I'll go a little closer up. Hopefully you can visually tell how much smoother this side is, especially around this area that's kind of at the forefront of your face when you look at someone. All right, we are here about almost 4 hours after application. I have had a mask that I've been taking off and putting back on, and you can definitely tell that my face is more shiny. I have a naturally kind of oily, shiny, or at least combo skin. And I don't think that the side that I've powdered has been any more noticeably effective at combating the shininess. So in that sense, I don't think this is any sort of like mattifying, long-term mattifying formula. And to be honest, while I do still think if you looked really closely, you would see that this side is a little more smooth, I think that the difference is very slight. You would have to actually be actively looking for that in order to say, oh yeah, I do think that the powdered side is a little more smooth. So at this stage, I think both sides. Now remember, because I have oily combination skin and my natural oils come through, that does help any sort of powder that I'm wearing or foundation that I'm wearing over time look a little more smooth if there's any sort of texture that's there. So I'm sure that on the non-powdered side, my natural oils are helping it look more smooth, which may kind of balance it out with the side that I had powdered. So if you have dry skin, you may be able to, after several hours, still see a noticeable difference in the smoothness. I just don't really see it on my skin. So I'll come up close. You tell me if you see any noticeable smoothness more on this side than on this side. You may be able to You may see something different than from what I do. And here's a look at the forehead. And I don't necessarily notice any major difference in terms of the fading of my makeup. So that would go to whether or not this helps the longevity of any of your makeup at all. So there's the check-in at this stage. I will come back at the end of the day and give you my final thoughts after several more hours of wearing. All right, so we are here at the end of the day. It's been at least 8 hours, I think maybe more like 8.5. And I have similar thoughts. I definitely at this stage don't see any really noticeable difference between the two sides, whether that be with shininess combating that or with the smoothness. And in fact, I feel like depending on how I move my, I don't really see a difference at all, period. So I feel like the name of this product is actually quite accurate because it literally says instant wrinkle blurring pressed powder. So that's true. It does have the immediate effect of giving you that blurred appearance. Let me show you up close what I mean after 8 hours where it doesn't really have that effect. So I'll show you my forehead. I don't really see any active difference between the two sides here. And I haven't reapplied this powder at all throughout the day. And then especially with these pores that are around your nose, I don't see any difference. I don't feel like this side where I had applied the powder initially looks like it's drastically smoother or pore reduced in any way. And there's definitely texture all around the mouth. I have been eating, so that fading is expected. But what I do want to test out is whether, because it says even in the claims that you can kind of blot throughout the day for touch-up. So let's go ahead and see whether we can restore this kind of blurring effect and whether the powder layers nicely without becoming cakey. Because there's a lot of powders where you apply it and it looks really great, but then if you add more and more, they get really cakey and just inelegant. So taking the same kabuki brush, again, I'm just gonna go on this side so we can compare. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know now how transparent this is because now, well, I'm sure my blush has faded a bit throughout the day after wearing it, but I feel like this has really covered up the color of my blush. Okay, so I mean, obviously instantly a mattifying effect, again, expected with pretty much any kind of powder that you're going to put on your skin. It does look more blurred on this side, but I also feel like you can simultaneously see that texture underneath. So I don't know if this is great for layering, at least at the end of the day after multiple hours of wearing. So I definitely feel like the pores are less visible now, but at the same time, I feel like it is a bit cakey and it's letting that texture not even show through, but emphasizing it. So you see at the top of the nose there, and then especially kind of here around the nose, emphasizing that area. So I don't know. I had really a good response to this after initial application, but it may be something where it's not, I don't know. I don't think that I would trust throwing this in my handbag and using it to retouch or touch up throughout the day, because I would rather look a little bit shiny and let my natural oils make things look a bit smoother than applying this and looking cakey. Even if I do look a little more mattified, it definitely looks like a bit powdery and so much texture, especially on the nose. So I don't know, if you're someone who already has normal skin and you don't have to worry about touching up or blotting throughout the day, then maybe this would be a really good candidate, because I did love the way that it looked after the first application. Or if you're someone who is oily and you want the smoothing effects of this and you are going to stick to maybe blotting during the day instead of reapplying this on top, then you can get rid of the shine without adding the cakiness that it seems you get with layering this. Or if you're someone who doesn't have any texture issues, you basically have a baby's butt for a face, then you don't have to worry about having any dry patches or wrinkles or anything like that. So those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for testing this out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. As always, I appreciate you watching these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.